It begins with one simple choice you barely give a second thought. Tonight, you're skipping your evening meal. Just this once. You tell yourself it's no big deal, maybe even beneficial. But the instant you make that decision, something activates inside you. The moment that expected dinner doesn't show up, a quiet chemical message travels through your system. Your body notices. The calories it anticipated aren't arriving, and the organs, hormones, and metabolic processes that have been following your eating routine for years, they immediately begin recalibrating. While you feel composed and in charge on the surface, your biology is quietly entering something ancient and far more powerful, a survival protocol humans have carried for millennia. Before we go any further, make sure you hit that subscribe button because the science behind what happens next will fundamentally transform how you think about hunger, eating, and what your body is actually capable of. As evening darkness settles in, hunger begins making its presence known. But this isn't just a physical sensation. It's a complex mixture of memory, learned patterns, and emotion all intertwined. Your stomach contracts, your brain projects mental images of your usual meals, and dopamine, the brain chemical tied to reward and satisfaction, starts declining. You're not simply avoiding food, you're actively resisting a psychological blueprint that's been reinforced through years of consistent routine. But as you push through this discomfort, something extraordinary begins happening. Your body activates backup systems specifically engineered for moments exactly like this. Evolution didn't build humans to collapse without an evening meal. It built us to become more alert, more focused, and more mentally sharp in its absence. By midnight, your insulin levels begin their natural descent. Your body shifts its attention toward glycogen, the readily available energy reserves stored primarily in your liver. As this glycogen gets released into your bloodstream, your metabolism quietly transitions from a storage mode into a release mode. This marks the first genuine step into what scientists call metabolic flexibility, your body's remarkable ability to switch between fuel sources depending on availability. You might feel slightly cold or restless during this phase. But internally, dormant energy systems are coming back online. Your liver becomes the unsung hero of this process. It systematically breaks down glycogen into glucose molecules to keep your blood sugar stable through the night. This is your internal power reserve, a sophisticated system perfected long before 3 meals a day became the norm. And when glycogen supplies begin running low, your body doesn't go into crisis mode. It adapts seamlessly. It sends signals to fat cells, instructing them to begin releasing fatty acids, the next available fuel source. This is where a deeper metabolic transformation truly begins. Your system starts remembering what it was originally designed to do: operate with adaptability and efficiency, not depend on constant food intake. Psychologically, though, the challenge intensifies. Irritability surfaces, anxiety flickers at the edges. Your brain misses the familiar comfort of your routine evening meal. Yet beneath that surface discomfort, something remarkable is occurring. Growth hormone levels rise sharply, protecting your muscle tissue, supporting cellular repair, and accelerating the breakdown of stored fat for energy. Research demonstrates this hormone can surge as much as 5 times higher during fasting periods. Your body is essentially communicating. We're adapting and optimizing, not deteriorating. By the end of the second day, your system learns a profound truth. Hunger isn't always a warning signal. Sometimes it's the first indication that genuine transformation is underway. By the third day, something even more fascinating happens. Your physical hunger begins blurring with psychological craving. You start questioning yourself, am I genuinely hungry right now? Or am I just conditioned to feel this way? Neuroscience provides the answer, and it changes everything. Your dopamine circuits, the exact same neural pathways that activate when you enjoy your favorite meal, become unusually quiet. This creates a distinct sense that something important is missing from your evening routine. But if you maintain your course, your body unlocks its next adaptation: ketone production. These small, powerful molecules are manufactured from your stored fat. They appear when glucose availability starts decreasing. Initially, you might experience some mental fog or feel slightly drained, but as hours continue passing, those ketones begin fueling your brain with a cleaner, more stable form of energy. Unlike glucose, which burns quickly and leaves behind oxidative waste products, ketones provide a smoother, more sustained energy flow with significantly less inflammation. This is precisely why so many people report unexpected mental clarity during fasting periods. Your mood may even improve noticeably. With no heavy digestive process happening before sleep, Your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair branch, steps up effortlessly. Deep within your cells, hundreds of microscopic cleanup operations are taking place, clearing damaged proteins, restoring energy pathways, and performing essential maintenance. This is your biology transforming discomfort into renewal. So by day 3, this experience isn't really about denying yourself food. It's about dismantling the illusion that constant eating equals survival. You're no longer powered by habit alone. You're powered by evolutionary design. On the 4th day, your brain undergoes one of its most significant shifts. As glucose becomes even less readily available, autophagy, your body's internal self-cleaning mechanism, ramps up dramatically. Your system begins dismantling damaged cells and recycling their components, creating space for newer, healthier replacements. This extraordinary process earned the Nobel Prize in 2016 for its profound connections to longevity and disease prevention. In simpler terms, your body begins healing itself from the inside out. At this stage, your brain is running partially on ketones, producing a state of focused calm that's difficult to describe until you experience it firsthand. People frequently describe it as mental sharpness because distractions fade and thoughts flow with unusual smoothness. This isn't imagination or placebo. Scientific studies confirm that ketones deliver a more stable and consistent stream of energy to neurons compared to glucose. It's as if your brain switches from a flickering light bulb to a steady, bright beam. Meanwhile, inflammation throughout your body continues dropping. With insulin remaining low and stable, you avoid the spikes that typically trigger fatigue, irritability, and emotional instability. Your digestive system receives a rare period of uninterrupted rest, allowing metabolic energy to redirect toward repair throughout your entire body. Skin cells regenerate faster, oxidative stress decreases significantly. Even your immune system begins recalibrating itself to function with greater efficiency. Hunger is still present, but it's quieter now, almost polite in its persistence. What once felt like deprivation now feels like awakening. Your body isn't desperately begging for food. It's relieved to finally have breathing room. By the 5th day, your internal systems begin settling into this unfamiliar but remarkably powerful rhythm. The metabolism that initially panicked at the missing meal now adapts with grace. Enzymes responsible for fat burning, including lipases, increase significantly in activity. Your body becomes masterful at accessing stored fat and converting it seamlessly into usable fuel. You're no longer simply running on reserves. You've established a sustainable, self-sufficient metabolic rhythm. Your digestive organs, especially your pancreas and liver, experience something incredibly rare in modern life: true rest. With fewer insulin spikes and reduced digestive workload, these organs can redirect energy toward repair and detoxification processes. The results often become physically visible: less bloating, brighter, clearer skin, and a surprising steadiness in your day-to-day energy levels. Inflammation markers like CRP, C-reactive protein, begin dropping, signaling a calmer internal environment. Your sleep quality also transforms. Without a late-night meal raising your body temperature or demanding digestive energy, melatonin flows more freely through your system. You fall asleep faster and wake up with greater mental clarity, not just in the body, but in mind. Even your circadian rhythm starts synchronizing more efficiently with natural light cycles. Your body is rediscovering its ancient instruction manual. 5 days in, this is no longer a battle between willpower and hunger. It becomes a conversation between your conscious mind and your physiology, a conversation that ends in understanding rather than struggle. You're not starving yourself, you're evolving. Before we continue, ask yourself this: if just 5 days of skipping your evening meal can trigger such dramatic internal changes, what else is your body capable of that you've never discovered? And if this transformation is already surprising you, imagine what's still ahead in the remaining days. Subscribe now, because the next phase of this journey reveals changes most people never realize are happening beneath the surface. By the 6th night, something curious unfolds. You fall asleep quickly, but you wake earlier, more alert, more refreshed than usual. Your internal biological clock is realigning itself, guided by hormones like melatonin and cortisol operating on their natural schedules. Without the late-night insulin surge from an evening meal, melatonin rises naturally and smoothly, deepening your sleep cycles. You're no longer restless or tossing through the night. You drop into genuinely restorative sleep almost instantly. allowing your brain to clear metabolic waste through the glymphatic system, essentially your brain's overnight cleaning crew. During daytime hours, your energy feels more stable than it has in years. No mid-afternoon sluggishness, no sugar crashes. The delicate balance between insulin and glucagon becomes smoother, keeping blood sugar surprisingly steady without constant food intake. By the sixth day, skipping dinner no longer feels like deprivation or sacrifice. It feels like alignment. Your biology, for the first time in years, is settling back into the ancient rhythm it was originally designed for. Eat during daylight hours. Repair during darkness. 7 days in, and the routine no longer feels like a challenge. It's becoming a natural pattern your body understands and embraces. This is where scientists say your system enters a phase called metabolic adaptation, a state where fat officially becomes your primary fuel source, making your energy feel smoother, cleaner, and surprisingly steady throughout each day. You might even notice something unexpected. Hunger waves disappear entirely for long stretches. That's because ghrelin, your hunger hormone, finally stabilizes around this new eating schedule. Inside your cells, something even more fascinating begins unfolding. Your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses that generate cellular energy, start multiplying. Research clearly shows that intermittent fasting promotes mitochondrial biogenesis, meaning your cells are literally building more energy-producing engines. More mitochondria translates to better physical endurance, heightened mental focus, and slower cellular aging. It's as if every part of you is quietly upgrading itself from the inside out. By the end of week 1, your body isn't resisting the change anymore. It's actively cooperating. You're not depriving your system of anything essential. You're teaching it to operate with efficiency and precision instead of chaos and constant input. By the 8th day, insulin has dropped to its lowest and most stable point yet. In typical modern eating habits, insulin remains elevated almost constantly throughout the day, trapping the body in a permanent fat storage mode. But now, without those evening insulin spikes, levels fall low enough to unlock the next stage, metabolic healing. Your cells become far more sensitive to insulin signals, meaning your body can use smaller amounts of the hormone with significantly better efficiency. Your blood sugar stops behaving like an unpredictable roller coaster and begins flowing like a calm, controlled stream. In this hormonal state, your body fully shifts into lipolysis, the active breakdown of stored fat. Fatty acids released from fat tissue are converted into ketones within your liver, fueling both your muscles and brain with remarkable stability. Studies from institutions like Harvard and the NIH confirm that even short fasting windows can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity and reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This hormonal balance influences your appetite regulation as well. Leptin, the hormone that signals fullness and satiety, starts functioning properly again. You stop eating out of boredom, stress, or simple habit. Mindless snacking fades away. Food returns to its original biological purpose, fuel and nourishment, not entertainment or emotional comfort. Ironically, by restricting your eating window for part of each day, you restore your body's natural sense of metabolic abundance. Your metabolism is no longer trapped by modern eating patterns. It's finally free to function as designed. Fat, once feared and avoided, becomes your most loyal and efficient energy partner. By the 9th day, the energy that's been stored inside your body for years begins telling its story. Every gram of fat that breaks down represents calories you once consumed but never fully utilized. Now, through the quiet discipline of skipped evening meals, your body is finally spending that stored energy. This isn't just weight loss on a scale. This is liberation from metabolic clutter that's been accumulating for years. Deeper within your system, hormonal harmony unfolds beautifully. Adiponectin, a beneficial protein released by fat cells, rises prominently during fasting periods. This molecule enhances insulin sensitivity throughout your body and encourages your system to burn fat even more effectively. Think of adiponectin as your metabolism actively cheering you on, rewarding your discipline with improved efficiency and better overall function. By day 9, something becomes crystal clear. Fat was never the villain. It was simply energy waiting patiently, finally being used for its true evolutionary purpose. By the 10th day, the transformation reaches your gut, the hidden command center of your overall health. Each skipped dinner provides your gut microbiome with extra hours to repair itself, rebalance bacterial populations, and regenerate damaged tissue. The vast colonies of beneficial bacteria living in your intestines finally have the opportunity to rebuild themselves, strengthening your gut lining and reducing the inflammation triggered by constant modern eating patterns. Scientists call this extended fasting window the fasting mimicking phase, a time when your gut becomes a silent laboratory of restoration and renewal. Digestive enzymes become significantly more efficient at their jobs. Nutrient absorption from the foods you do eat improves noticeably. And your immune system, 70% of which actually lives inside your gut, begins sharpening its responses and becoming more precise in its function. You might physically feel this transformation through lighter, easier digestion, reduced bloating, or a general sense of calm in your abdominal region. These are tangible signs that your microbiota are thriving, producing short-chain fatty acids that nourish your colon cells and even enhance brain function through the gut-brain connection. By the 10th day, you've crossed an important threshold. This journey isn't simply about skipping an evening meal anymore. It's about systematically resetting your oldest and most fundamental biological systems, one peaceful night at a time. By the 11th day, something subtle but profound unfolds in your consciousness. The mental fog that once dulled your mornings completely lifts, replaced by a clarity that feels almost serene in its consistency. This isn't caffeine creating artificial alertness. This is pure chemistry working in your favor. Your brain is running primarily on ketones now, which burn cleaner than glucose and produce fewer harmful reactive byproducts in the process. These ketones significantly reduce oxidative stress throughout your brain and boost production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a crucial protein that supports neuron growth, repair, and resilience. Your brain literally begins feeling sharper, steadier, more vibrantly alive. Your mind feels lighter because, in a very real biological sense, it's being continuously renewed and upgraded. You may notice yourself becoming more naturally focused and present in each moment, as if the background mental noise that once constantly filled your thoughts has finally been turned down to a whisper. Tasks that previously drained your mental energy now feel strangely effortless and engaging. This isn't imagination or wishful thinking. Its biological alignment manifests as mental performance. With inflammation throughout your nervous system at its lowest levels, your neural pathways fire with greater speed and precision. Neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA begin working together in harmony instead of fighting against hormonal instability. Even your overall mood begins settling into a more stable baseline as the communication pathway between your gut and brain strengthens, forming a more solid emotional foundation. You feel a kind of peaceful detachment from food cravings, not disinterest or aversion, but calm, confident control. The old psychological grip of cravings loosens significantly, and the satisfaction you derive from smaller, cleaner meals becomes deeper and more genuinely meaningful. Your relationship with hunger shifts completely. It transforms from a demanding enemy into a dialogue, a conversation, rather than a crisis. You begin clearly seeing how often you previously ate for emotional comfort rather than actual physical nourishment. By the end of day 11, your mind feels like an open window on a clear morning, bright, steady, and unobstructed. You're no longer operating purely on willpower. You're running on clarity itself. On the 12th day, a subtle but critically important challenge appears, one that many people completely overlook in their enthusiasm. With all this newfound mental sharpness and physical lightness, it becomes surprisingly easy to forget that your body still requires substantial, quality nutrition during your eating windows. Skipping dinner doesn't mean skipping essential nutrients, vitamins, or minerals. And this is precisely where balance becomes absolutely critical to sustainable success. If your daytime meals consistently lack adequate electrolytes, complete proteins, healthy fats, or crucial micronutrients, fatigue may begin sneaking in quietly despite all your metabolic efficiency. Your body, despite all its remarkable adaptability, still fundamentally needs the raw building blocks for ongoing cellular repair and maintenance. Scientifically speaking, prolonged fasting or repeated significant can gradually lower T3 thyroid hormone levels and slow your overall metabolic rate. Some individuals might notice mild decreases in body temperature, occasional lightheadedness, or unexpected dizziness, all signals that your body wants you to listen more carefully and adjust accordingly. Skipping dinner for 15 days isn't inherently dangerous for most healthy adults, but the quality and completeness of how you fuel yourself during your eating window absolutely determines your success or struggle. Hydration also becomes non-negotiable during this process. With insulin staying consistently low, your kidneys naturally excrete more sodium and water through urine, which can lead to dehydration if these minerals aren't actively replenished. This is exactly why fasting experts consistently recommend drinking mineral-rich water or adding a small pinch of high-quality sea salt to your water throughout the day, not for flavor enhancement, but specifically for electrolyte stability and cellular function. This isn't punishment or restriction, it's precision nutrition supporting your metabolic transformation. By day 12, awareness becomes just as vital as discipline. You've successfully learned control over your eating patterns. Now you must master equilibrium and balance to sustain these benefits long-term. By the 13th day, the transformation extends far beyond anything a mirror could possibly show you. Yes, perhaps you've dropped a few pounds of stored fat. Your face might look slightly sharper, more defined. Your eyes appear clearer and more alert. But those visible changes are merely the surface layer of something much deeper. Your skin, profound cellular rejuvenation, continues operating at full capacity. Autophagy keeps diligently clearing out cellular debris and damaged proteins. Your mitochondria continue multiplying and becoming more efficient. DNA repair enzymes, particularly important ones like PARP, become measurably more active in their protective functions. On a molecular level, you are literally biologically younger than you were 15 days ago. That's not a motivational language, it's measurable cellular reality. You may feel an unexpected sense of calm settling deeper into your body and mind. Physical movements feel smoother and more fluid. Joints that previously ached, chronically hurt, noticeably less. Your energy flows more evenly throughout each day, without the dramatic peaks and crashes. This isn't a coincidence or placebo effect. Research clearly demonstrates that the lowered systemic inflammation resulting from fasting periods can significantly reduce chronic pain and improve overall physical mobility and comfort. Meanwhile, your immune system, newly reset after days of metabolic rest, operates with sharper precision, focusing its resources on genuine threats instead of wasting energy on background inflammation. Psychologically, something genuinely profound takes hold within you. Trust. You begin trusting your body again, not as something fragile that needs constant feeding and protection, but as an adaptable, intelligent biological partner capable of remarkable things. You've witnessed firsthand how it adjusts to challenges, how it systematically repairs itself, how it not just survives, but actually thrives without constant food intake. It's humbling in a way that borders on spiritual awareness. You've discovered experientially that hunger doesn't automatically mean weakness or failure. Instead, it means heightened awareness and biological communication. Day 13 is no longer about physical appearance or weight on a scale. It's about reconnecting between your conscious mind, your physical body, and the ancient cellular intelligence operating inside every single one of your cells. 14 days have now passed. You've consciously skipped your evening meal for 14 consecutive nights. What started as a small, almost trivial decision has systematically reshaped your biology, your daily rhythm, and your entire mindset around food and hunger. Science comprehensively supports everything you've just experienced firsthand. Short-term nightly fasting can measurably lower insulin levels, dramatically improve metabolic flexibility, enhance cognitive performance across multiple domains, and significantly reduce systemic inflammation throughout your body. This transformation isn't magic or mystical thinking. It's simply your body remembering and returning to its original evolutionary programming. Natural cycles of eating and fasting, feast and rest, activity and recovery, but science also presents us with the same fundamental truth your body now intimately understands. Balance absolutely matters in everything. What heals and strengthens in appropriate moderation can potentially harm when taken to unhealthy extremes. Your metabolism is demonstrably sharper and more efficient now. Your hormones are operating with better synchronization. Your energy production is cleaner and more stable. But perhaps the greatest transformation of all is your awareness itself. You've learned to genuinely listen to hunger signals rather than fear them automatically. You've realized through direct experience that eating less frequently can sometimes translate into living more intentionally and mindfully. You've tasted a new form of control, not the rigid, restrictive kind that eventually breaks, but the liberating kind that comes from truly understanding your body's sophisticated signaling systems. By the 15th day, you've reached a meaningful milestone: 15 consecutive nights of skipped dinners. 15 days of allowing your body the extended overnight fasting window it was biologically designed to utilize. The changes you've experienced aren't temporary fluctuations. They represent genuine metabolic adaptation and cellular renewal. This journey was never intended to transform into lifelong deprivation or permanent restriction. It served as a reset, a powerful reminder of your built-in biological adaptability that modern eating patterns often suppress. Researchers worldwide are now actively studying how time-restricted eating patterns, including skipping evening meals, can measurably reduce metabolic diseases, improve sleep architecture, support longevity pathways, and restore natural hormonal rhythms that modern life disrupts. Each year, the scientific evidence grows stronger and more convincing, reinforcing what your biology instinctively knows. Strategic simplicity heals. Giving your digestive system regular breaks allows deeper healing processes to activate that constant eating simply prevents. So as you approach your next meal mindfully, with genuine appreciation, remember what these 15 days have revealed to you. Sometimes the greatest form of nourishment doesn't come from food itself, but from the intentional space we give our bodies to rest deeply, repair thoroughly, and remember the fundamental balance that sustains optimal health. If this 15-day journey opened your mind to new possibilities about what your body is capable of, don't let this conversation end here. Tell us in the comments, would you consider trying to skip dinner for 15 days after hearing this complete story? What surprised you most about the biological changes that occur? Make sure to like this video, subscribe to Health Decoded for more science-based health insights, and share this with someone who's ready to rediscover the hidden intelligence operating inside their own body. Thanks for watching Health Decoded.